It's late again. I seem to do my clearest thinking when the house has gone quiet and the clock sounds louder than it should. I'm leaving this as a voice message, though I don't know who it's really for. Maybe just myself. Maybe the part of me that needs to say this out loud once. I didn't notice the moment it happened. That's the strange part. There was no argument, no slammed doors, no hard feelings. Just a slow understanding that settled in one evening while I was holding my phone, realizing I was waiting for it to light up. That's when it first occurred to me, I'm no longer part of their daily lives. Not pushed out, not shut away, just no longer woven into the ordinary hours of their days. And I don't think they even know it happened. I tell myself they didn't leave. Life just moved faster than I did. Faster than my habits, my routines, my quiet evenings that all look the same now. That thought helps, most nights. I still remember when I was their whole world. When their days revolved around scraped knees, forgotten lunches, and voices calling for me from the next room. I remember knowing exactly what made them laugh, what scared them, how they took their cereal. I remember the weight of responsibility and the closeness that came with it. Back then, I was needed in obvious ways, loud ways. And then, slowly, beautifully, they grew. They learned to drive, to decide, to leave the house without telling me every detail of where they were going. I was proud of that. Still am. I wanted them to have full lives. Big lives. I just didn't realize how quiet mine would become when theirs got so full. Now my phone mostly stays dark. When it does light up, I read the message carefully. Sometimes more than once. I save the kind words. I reread old texts, not because I'm unhappy with the present, but because those messages remind me I still exist in their thoughts, even if only briefly. I tell myself they're busy. And maybe they are. Jobs, families, responsibilities I once taught them how to carry. I remind myself of that often. I don't want to be unfair. I don't want to turn love into expectation. I don't want to be a burden. That word shows up in my mind more than I'd like to admit. Burden, as if love could ever be heavy in the wrong way. Still, I hesitate before calling. I rehearse what I'd say, then decide it's not important enough. I convince myself I'll wait until I have a real reason. Sometimes the reason never comes. The loneliness isn't sharp. It doesn't ache the way grief does. It's softer than that, quieter. It feels like sitting in a room where the furniture hasn't moved, but the people have. Like being useful once, and now simply being there. I don't feel unwanted. That's important. I feel unnecessary. And that's harder to explain without sounding dramatic, so I don't explain it to anyone. I love my children without asking them to prove they love me back. That's the deal I made the day they were born. Still, there's a quiet fear that settles in sometimes, of becoming invisible not because anyone chose it, but because time did. I'm learning to accept this season. Not with bitterness, just with honesty. Love changes shape, roles change, and even sadness can exist without blame. If you're listening to this and finding pieces of yourself in it, I won't ask you to do anything about it. I'll only leave you with the same gentle question I'm asking myself tonight. When was the last time you noticed the distance, not as a failure, but as a quiet change, and how are you carrying that love now? When was the last time you heard their voice, without being the one who called first.